G'day guys, your old pal Nick here from the Bulldog Fanatic YouTube channel, and welcome to the review of the Bulldogs Dockers game that happened quite a while ago now on Friday night, round 8 at Marvel Stadium. A close 12-point loss to the Bulldogs on the hands of the very, very good Fremantle Dockers. Let's get into it. So the Dockers won 17-12, 114, defeating the Bulldogs 15-12, 102. The Dockers won by 2 goals in a really high-scoring shootout type of game. It would have been very fun to watch as a neutral fan, but as a Dogs fan, it was a roller coaster of emotions. And unlike the previous 3 weeks, where it was like just an impending sense of doom and just nothing to really get excited about, it actually was pretty exciting for a lot of the game. But unfortunately, it was just a small patch in the game of 18 minutes either side of three-quarter time that cost us really badly. So the Dockers, yes, right. After Will Lewis kicked a goal to put the Bulldogs up by 2 goals, like 20 minutes into the third quarter, the Dockers went on a rampage either side of three-quarter time, hitting 7 goals in 18 minutes of game time. Again, either side of three-quarter time, and that's pretty much where they won the game. Unfortunately, I can't say I'm too surprised. I know the Dockers are very good, and they've done us before. They've gone on massive goal runs in short amounts of time. They pretty much have won them the game. But it's just a classic Bulldog trait that we've had over the last 5 years now, is conceding goals in really quick succession, like runs of goals. And it's happened a lot in the last few weeks, but this was really costly because pretty much cost us the game, the run that Freo went on. And it was classic traits of Bulldogs losses I've experienced over the last 5 years, conceding goals from kick-ins at half-time and three-quarter time. Well, not at three-quarter time, but they still had a shot at three-quarter time from a kick-in with 17 seconds to go. I was crashing out at that point. And then the Murphy Reid goal. Will Lewis had a shot at goal, probably 20 out on a side angle with a minute to go. He misses. Dockers take it from a kick-in to the wing. They get a stoppage on the wing, and then Murphy Reid burst out of the pack to kick a nice running goal from, 55 out or so, and just went over Bond's fingertips on the goal line, right on the siren. So if Will Lewis kicked that goal, it would have been probably got 4 goals. Instead, he missed. Murphy Reid goes down the other end, right on halftime, and it's only, 2 goals. Very, very costly in the grand scheme of things. Also, another trait of the Bulldogs that's happened is the fake comeback. A lot last year. We were out of games probably with early into the last quarter. But we would always have a little comeback and always tease to have the possibility of having a miraculous comeback win. We did that a lot last year. And that's why our losses on paper don't look too bad. And that's why our biggest loss was 26 points last year? Because we had a lot of those fake comebacks, in my opinion, where the game was pretty much over early into the last, and we have a comeback, a little mini comeback, a little resurgence to maybe give the game some life. That's exactly what happened on Friday night after Andy Brayshaw kicked a really good goal in the forward 50 for the Dockers in the last quarter. I thought for a second I was going to blow out to 50 points. I really did, because just given the avalanche of goals, it was frightening. But the Bulldogs did a classic, in recent times, and that is have a comeback, tease the fans, get within a goal or two. But unfortunately, Freo handled the clutch moments better. They won the one-on-ones with a few minutes to go, and Shea Bolton with that crumbing goal, in the forward pocket, right at the death to seal the game. It's just Freo have the clutch gene that we don't. We didn't that night anyway, which is very unfortunate, because I thought for a lot of the game we played really, really well. Look, it was far from a smashing like the previous 3 weeks, so that was a nice change. I can actually watch the game and enjoy it quite a bit, but still another L at the end of the day, and it's our 4th loss in a row, and I think it's the first time that we've lost 4 games in a row since 2019. So it's been a while since I've experienced a month of losing, and it really is painful, but honestly not surprising given the injuries and just how good these teams we've played the last 4 weeks. But yeah, it was a better effort on Friday, as I was hoping. It just looked more like a typical Bulldogs game. It's like we were scoring well, we were doing really well in the midfield, and what helped, which I can tell straight away, was how good Tim English was. Now, don't get me wrong, he wasn't perfect, and I think as the game went on, he slowed down a bit, which is fair enough, given he's coming off an MCL injury, and he's been out for quite a few weeks. But I could tell early on, especially, that just having Tim English in there made a world difference for our midfield. He gave us good taps to our midfield, and just, we weren't getting destroyed in the ruck. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, when English wasn't rucking and it was young Louis Emmett, we did get destroyed by Luke Jackson and Mason Cox, and that was a big reason why the Dockers went on that run, because I think Louis Emmett is just not that competitive in the ruck, and that's okay because he is only a teenager. But to play him over Lockie Smith, who's more well-ready, he's in his third year of footy, and he's more of a physical type of ruck, I just think that was the wrong call, in my opinion. I think that was a big why we lost the game, because Freo got ascendancy in the ruck, especially in the second half when English, what was on the bench. And it was Emmett going up against either Jackson or Mason Cox, and that's why I think a big reason why the Dockers got a lot of those goals, because they dominated from clearance in the second half when English wasn't rucking. I do want to talk about some individuals, because there were quite a lot of individual players that were fantastic. I thought the small forward brigade was fantastic. Like Artie Jones coming back in, the presence of Artie Jones, just like, he creates chaos. He only kicked the one goal, but every time he goes near the footy, something exciting happens, just like with his speed and burst. I'm just like, ooh, something exciting is going to happen. So it was nice to have a presence down there in terms of speed and some forward craft, because we're kind of lacking that the last few weeks. And it was good to see Lachlan McNeil and Lathan Van Nieuw back in the sides, and they both played really well. McNeil had some crucial touches, set up some goals, and kicked a couple of goals and stuff, including a clutch goal late with 3.5 minutes to go to bring the margin back to a kick. So that was really nice for him. Lathan Van Nieuw in the first half was doing really well. He was setting up goals, he was making the right decisions, being very composed. Unfortunately, though, he did a hamstring injury, and he was out for the second half, which was really unfortunate because he was playing so well. And it's not the first time he's done a hamstring injury, and he's very prone to soft tissue injuries, unfortunately, that man. And he's out for the next 5 to 7 weeks, which sucks for him, because I thought he played really well in the first half. He got 12 disposals, got quite a few score involvements, so really unfortunate for Leif. I want to talk about these two players, because both of them were All-Australian last year, and for a lot of the year, they've been hampered by injury and just haven't looked themselves. And I'm talking about Ed Richards and Bailey Dale. I thought that was by far the best game Bailey Dale played anyway. He was awesome, just penetrating the ball really well, taking majority of the kick-ins, just really creating that drive and run off halfback that I'm used to. And he used the ball quite well, which was very nice to see, because a lot of he hasn't used the ball quite well, and he's made some wrong decisions. And he's looked kind of lost down there, but with him being the clear main distributor of our backline, he just looked like 2025 All-Australian Bailey Dale with his beautiful run and carry, and getting his hands in the footy as much as possible. It was fantastic to see. And Ed Richards, he's been hampered a few weeks by that knee injury, but that was probably the first time in over a month I would say he was fantastic. He got clearances, he kicked a goal, he was setting up a lot of scores for us. He just looked really dangerous on the outside, complementing Bond very, very well. So it was nice to see our 2025 All-Australians, Ed Richards and Bailey Dale, play really well, and hopefully that form can continue as, we're into an easier set of fixtures. Now, I can't go in this review without talking about this man, and that's Marcus Bontempelli. God, he was great. Again, hampered by that knee injury, but he was bloody awesome, especially in the first half. 22 touches in the first half and a snag. He was a little quieter in the second half. I think Freo did a pretty good job at nullifying him in the second half. But that goal he kicked in the last quarter to bring us back within a couple of kicks with 5 minutes to go. Just the aura. And I went ballistic. It's just like the stadium erupted. So it was like so good to see the Bond play. And I could just tell straight away, I know when Bond's on. I know when he gets a few early touches and he's using the ball, I was like, this is going to be a good Bond game. And my God, he had a very good game. He didn't use the ball as well as I wished. He had 7 clangers and went at only 60-something% disposal efficiency. So it wasn't the cleanest game from Bond, and by no means his best game ever. But just the presence of him was keeping us alive, especially in that first half. He was fantastic, and hopefully some more Brownlow votes. On Brownlow night. I want to talk about our key backs, because honestly, I thought our key backs actually did really well in Buku Khamis, Jed Busslinger, and Nick Caulfield. Especially Nick Caulfield. I thought he actually did a really good job on Tracy. Now, Tracy did get the better of him in the second half, but for a large part of the game, Caulfield was actually matching well with Tracy. And there's a good 10 centimeters in height between Caulfield and Tracy. Caulfield's 190, 191. Tracy's close to 200 centimeters. So quite a bit of a height and probably strength difference between the two of them. And I thought Nick Caulfield held his own. He was intercepting quite early. He was actually using the ball okay, except one turnover, which cost us a goal. Out in the back half, deep in defence, chipped it to one of our players, and he kicked it straight to, I think it was Tracy actually, and he kicked the goal. So in the third quarter, and that's when Freo started to get momentum. So that wasn't ideal, but apart from that, I thought he was really good. He spoiled well, intercepted well. Ball use for the most part was pretty good. So I thought Nick Coffield, he is a good player, but just unfortunately injuries have just been the theme for a lot of his career, both at St Kilda and now at us. So yeah, I thought Nick Coffield was really good. Jet Bussinger, he was spoiling like crazy. I think he had like 16 spoils or something. Well, he had spoils in the double-digit figures. He was spoiling like crazy, and I thought he did a really good job at nullifying Jai Amos. So yeah, he was really good. Jai Amos didn't kick a goal, and Bruku Kamas a lot better. Bruku Kamas. He was getting in, but he was getting in the right spots more, and not getting caught in no man's land. So that was nice. He was reading the ball a lot better. And Paddy Voss, hate that guy. Thankfully, he didn't get a shot off and gave away a few free kicks. Paddy Voss, the flog. So yeah, I'm happy. I was happy with actually the key defenders. Only 3 goals between Tracy, Amos, and Voss, when I initially thought they were going to kick like 10 plus between the 3 of them. So that was good to see. Unfortunately, though, we still lost. So yeah, what happens from here? Well, I'm happy we scored 100 points again, because we've been deprived of scoring. And I'm happy Aaron Norton played pretty well. He kicked 2 goals. And I'm just glad he was playing in general, because after that Sydney game, I didn't think he'd be playing for a while. So it's good to see. It's good to see Tim English back. So we are slowly starting to get a few troops back. But yeah, ultimately we still lost, and we lost our 4th game in a row, and we are in 12th position on the ladder. So not ideal. This week against Port Adelaide, it's a must-win game. We have to win. And there's rumours of Bont being rested or not. Well, Bevo's floating at the fact that he wants to rest Bont, but he can't really due to the lack of depth in the midfield. So I think Bont will play against Port Adelaide, but it's still up in the air. But I think Bont will play. Gut feel, and what I've seen in the media over the last day or so, I think Bont will play. But regardless, it is a must-win game against Port Adelaide. God help me if we lose. It's in Adelaide against Zach Butters and his power, so we'll see how things go. But yeah, the Dockers game, I did enjoy it. I'm disappointed with the crowd, only 23,000. I know we're playing against the Dockers that don't have many fans here in Melbourne, but still, disappointing crowd. If we want these primetime slots, we need bigger crowds than that. I understand why a lot of people didn't go, because, the Dogs' recent form has not been good, but still, it lacked the atmosphere, lacked the aura, and I swear the Freo fans were louder, especially towards the end of the game. Final thoughts are, look, it was a much better effort, and I enjoyed the game for a lot of it, and I thought we were the better side for a large majority of the game, but unfortunately, we didn't get the chocolates. It's a very classic Bulldogs loss in only a short span of time is where the Dockers dominated, like truly dominated, and that was pretty much the game, really. They clutched up while we didn't, and the Dockers are a down good side. They're a good chance to win the flag this year, and we'd still had a few out. But still, we were definitely good enough to win that game. So it's disappointing we didn't. But hopefully we're into an easier set of fixtures heading into the bye, and I just hope we win them. We need to win probably at least 3 of our next 4 to get back into that top 10 and to still think we're a decent side, because yeah, if we lose our next couple, then we are in big, big trouble. But anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. The preview for the Port Adelaide game will be out in a few days. And as always, go you mighty Bulldogs. See you next time.